Can you hear me now? It'll be a lot different with instruments. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Don't you love it when everybody does that? Well, this is a test. This is a test of a new enhanced audio format, a mixer for the Sony a7 III that allow me to do stereo recording. So I've got a microphone over here, I got a microphone on top of the camera. And this is really to enhance the recording I'll be doing for my mom's December piano recital for her students. She's been teaching many students for many years, and since COVID we have been doing this remotely and safely in her studio, and each time we want to improve this. Well, this time we're focusing on the audio quality. The audio quality is essential for instruments, particularly multiple instruments, so we will see how that goes. In the meantime, I just wanted to play with this and see how it looks, how this room that I have, which I guess I think of as my own studio, though I barely use it for that, maybe this will become a studio. Maybe I'll even do some more videos here as we come down to it. It's a decision. I think about the different decisions I have to make in the course of a day and a week and a month. And I have another decision. I have to think about cameras and lenses and what I'm going to use for the recital and what I'm going to use for our trip to Georgia later on this December. We have a privilege to drive down to see my in-laws for the first time in their new home in Powder Springs, Georgia, outside of Atlanta. You gotta say it right, Atlanta. And it should be a nice southern Christmas. I love my white Christmases. We don't actually get them much here. With climate change, I think right now, look out the window, it's pretty mild out there on November 1st here. So I have to think about, what am I going to bring? I don't want to spend all my vacation thinking about the 20 lenses I might have in my suitcase and which one's the right one for the job. And I'm even thinking, which camera do I bring? Do I bring the Sony, which is probably more flexible in a way, but also introduces more problems because I have to think about, well, what am I going to use today? I could just simply shoot with this lovely Nikon D800E that I traded this summer. It's a really nice camera. It feels good in the hand, as I like to say. It's not too heavy. It's beefy. It feels like a camera. Boy, it sure sounds southern here when I keep saying all this stuff. Sounds like a camera. I guess I'm going to Georgia. When I like this camera, though, it really does do a nice job. But the question is, do I bring a zoom lens or do I bring a couple of prime lenses? And for those of you who aren't into photography, a zoom lens is where you go zoom in and out without moving your feet. That's this lens here. Go up and down. This is a really nice zoom lens. It goes from the wide angle, wide focal length, 24mm up to 120, which would be considered a moderately medium-sized telephoto lens. Good for landscapes, good for portrait work. This is a great lens. This lens is high image quality. It's going to work in a variety of situations. In lower light, it'll do okay. In beautiful light, it'll do really nice. Bit on the heavy side, bit on the chunky side. I could bring this tiny little pancake lens. This lens is a cheapy lens, really. A lot of folks will look down on this and call it poop, I suppose. I know a friend who'll call it poop, but it ain't so poopy. The truth is, this lens does fine on the street, which is what I like to do a lot of times when I'm out and about and I'm looking for a new situation to capture. There's no autofocusing to this lens, and it's actually a nice feature. Then I just simply say I want that focus to be close to about 8, 10, 12 feet. I put my aperture here about f4, and I just shoot. I capture the images. It's actually what I do when I'm walking around in Chicago. I'll just go click, click. The nice thing is then, without autofocusing, I'm not having to wait for it to figure out what's the subject. It's just going to shoot. It's really, really nice in a situation when I just want it fast and clean. I don't have to think about it. It ain't perfect, but it's good enough for the stuff I do. And I don't think technical perfection is really why I do photography anyway. I like to experiment. I like to play with different older lenses. I do like new lenses, but I don't spend the money on the big bucks of modern fast lenses these days. I like to find stuff I find in a thrift store, an antique store, which we might find on our trip, a neat lens. And that makes me think, well, do I bring my Nikon, look for another Nikon lens? Do I look for something on the Sony that I can adapt from all those different old cameras from the good old days of film? I don't know yet. I'm indecisive. That's kind of who I am at this point in my life at 50 something. I don't always like to make quick decisions. I like to ponder it, and well, maybe you can help me out. I'm going to look for your advice. Do I bring this one lens, cover all the main focal lengths when I go on this trip? I don't take it off the camera? Or do I bring a couple of what we call prime fixed focal length lenses like this 50? I've got another 50 which is probably a better image quality, but it's autofocusing. I got an 85 which is more for portraits. 35 is a little bit wider. I could bring 2 or 3 of those lenses, 4 or 5. I mean, how many lenses do I need ever when I'm out and about? Even as I go out to Chicago and I look at the city and I think, whoa, I need that lens, I need this lens. Why do I need to stop and ponder what lens do I need? I should just have a single lens. And that seems like it goes against the grain of choice. I feel like I should have a choice. I should always have options. But maybe it's the options that make me hesitate and miss something. And I don't even realize that I've missed it. I've hesitated. I've been thinking. And I think that's what I do a lot. I hesitate and I think. And that's why the perfectionist in me has to say, you know what? It's good enough. It's good enough. I can handle not having 3 or 4 different choices with me. I know if I was being paid for a professional shoot, I could bring that gear with me and prove that I'm a photographer. But I'm not on this trip in December for proving anything. I just want to go down and enjoy the time. I want to eat cookies and pie and turkey and get a little bit fat, I suppose. And I'll take a few portraits of the family. I'll walk around the neighborhood. I'll maybe explore Atlanta with my wife. We're just going to relax. So why do I even think about all this gear I think I'll bring? It's kind of silly. It's kind of silly. And yet I'm looking right at that Minolta Rocore PF 58mm f1.4 that's filming this right now and think, that's a lovely lens too. Boy, maybe I should bring my Sony. We'll see. Anyway, it's always good to have options until the very end when I decide that's it. I'm in the car. That's all I'm bringing. And that's okay. I can live with that. Well, I hope you're having a great day. Go out there, capture something. Whether you got an iPhone, you got a film camera, you got the latest and greatest Leica M6. Oh yeah, that's not what I've got. That's not my option. That's not my choice. Somebody else might bring an M6. Anyway, go out there, capture life, enjoy it. Enjoy this holiday season that's coming up here. God bless you.